I am the Gaudy Jackal, and I made a terrible mistake. I sat down and was 100% ready to... Ooh, mouse, keyboard. I guess keyboard's fine. I sat down and I was 100% ready to do an episode and started into it. Thought that the sound effects were gone, and it turns out my headphones were actually just connected to my speakers wrong. So I wasn't hearing half the sound effects, but they were all still there. Isn't that phenomenal? Let's actually go this time around. I am hoping to focus for this build on Hidden Power. Hidden Power puts massive damage on everything that isn't my weapon, and my weapon has no effect, and I cannot create non-shield constructs. Also removes all weapon and construct mods from the pool, but all my defense is hella better. And we're going to be combining that with potentially Tempest Break. If we get it, it's quite nice. And also, where is it? Discharge. And the main focus is going to be making sure the Discharge is like just the weapon that I'm using for the entire build. So I've got a couple of different options here with it. I can either focus on... this is all fine, but I'm probably going to turn off... Maybe... No, let's just leave everything on for the first run. It's fine. So what I'm focusing on primarily here is... What I'm thinking about here is either I want to go with Torrent and have loads and loads and loads of rapid fire explosions, which is a consideration of mine, or alternatively go for a faster weapon that doesn't really do the same. Or sorry, a slower weapon that does the opposite, but all of the blasts are just massive damage. The issue that I imagine I'll face with that is potentially the really, really big recoil damage I'm going to take every time I shoot a shot, and also potentially, what's the word I'm looking for? AoE. Salvo could be really interesting to try it out, but if my weapon has no effect, I would assume that everything to the right here, the stuff in Salvo, doesn't matter anymore, and that means that potentially I don't accumulate reserve missiles, so maybe it will be individual shots. Shrapnel is interesting, or rather flak, and my two considerations primarily here are going to be either Torrent or Railgun. Torrent is probably my preferred option, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to take Sentinel for the increased shield stuff, and then I'm going to take... I was thinking of taking Halo because of the extra damage, and it's showed up repeatedly, but I'm actually going to take Warp, because if I'm looking for Tempest Break, then I want to see... Like, I want to be able to do damage when my shield is gone, just for that bit. I think it's pretty important. Improved Thrusters is really necessary so that we can get Deadly Wake, just because it's an extra source of damage and we're going to need it. And then from there, I'm honestly not 100% sure. I know we need Discharge. That's mandatory. And so Deadly Wake. Off to a great start with a kind of a focused build here, which is actually nice. The rest of the time that I've been doing stuff, we've been kind of focused a little bit on exploration of build paths and ideas, as well as going off a base idea. But this time around especially, I have an end goal, and that's a first for the series, which is definitely interesting. The first, I suppose, step on the road to achieving that, however, is to not die, and that will be a great start. Emergency systems is pretty massive, and I definitely want it, so I'm going to take it outright. And then I'm honestly not sure. Probably shield durability. I do want to get into things like reflexive shields. Shield cooldown gets me discharge, and that's super important. It's how the build works. 100% of how the build works. Because if we make the mistake... Reflexive shields, when you take a hit, it discharges damaging energy. I'm curious. I'm going to go on the assumption that this counts as a form of secondary damage. It must. It absolutely must, because it is damage if I hit something. If we take... Ooh, let's not die here. Our supermod, our primary supermod here, before I've taken discharge, the run's over. We have no... I mean, technically I'll have like Deadly Wake, and I can maybe, if I can kill a couple enemies, get into discharge, but I'll have basically no way of doing anything. So do we take... It gets us closer to Tempest Break, which I need, and I also need Streamline. Do I take... Flash shielding. I think the loss of shield durability might be bad right now, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go for another reroll. One more. will take barrier. I think that's actually quite nice. Big hits that will deal massive damage to our shields or problems, and I don't want that. So as I was saying in the cut-off episode, actually, so I guess I wasn't saying in this episode at all, I made some really trash plays over the course of the last couple of episodes, and I intend to rectify that over this one and the next couple of episodes. Step up my game a small bit, you know? I had a good bit on my mind and I was back from work with a stressful day, and it was kind of a weird couple of days, so I was a bit tired. Not that that's a great deal of an excuse, but at the same time, you know. And so... But also, I was focusing heavily on anything other than Nova Drift. And you'd be surprised. I mean, it's okay to talk when I'm playing the game, and I'm pretty comfortable playing Nova Drift now, so it's actually quite easy for the most part. But every now and again, especially if I haven't touched the game in a little bit of a while, and as I said, it had been a couple of weeks before I'd actually sat down, and since I'd sat down and had a go at it, that Celestial Body was massive. I know I could say Meteor, but I prefer saying Celestial Body. Corrosion, Omni Shield, none of these are what I want. I will take Effect Radius though. It had been like a couple of weeks since I'd sat down and actually played the game, so I was a bit out of practice as well. And I didn't feel like going for another Vortex build or taking it really easy on myself. It was just more, you know, get into it, sit down, play it. But I was pretty focused on anything else, and unfortunately that meant my play was something to be ashamed of. Oh my god, I died repeatedly on absolutely nothing. So this time around, definitely a bit better, and it's pretty important because I love both the styles. Just casual play that has like little focus on the gameplay itself and just more about talking and stuff, and at the same time I also really enjoy good play, and I definitely prefer the idea of doing a bit of a mix of both. You may wonder why I'm choosing not to take any weapon upgrades. You may not actually, because realistically it's quite straightforward, but I don't see the point. In the meantime, it would help a bit. In the long run, it's going to be a complete waste of my time because I'm not going to be using my weapon to deal any of my damage. So I'm not going to do it. Stabilization, I don't need Burning Orb. So I'm going to take Hull Strength for a little bit of extra survivability. Once I go into... Because again, if I'm not taking weapon upgrades, I don't get that kind of midline help. I stood right in the path of that. I don't get that midline help. I don't get the opportunity to be a little bit stronger until I get my super mods and I get discharge. And as a result, I need to survive. Or rather, to remedy that issue, I need to survive. And that is never more evident than against an enemy like this. Just, I'm doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. God, this is unacceptable. Like, just beyond terrible. I'm really hoping I get discharged soon. And I've used up all my rerolls trying to get mods that are even okay. So this is what I was talking about. If we take hidden power now, we lose. So I can't. I don't want flash shielding. I do want regeneration. And I can't. So the thing is, I can't create non-shield constructs with this. So I can't take constructs in the late game again as well. So it is kind of a waste of my time. On the plus side, I know I fulfilled the requirements for this. So going over kind of what I have here, I've got reflexive shields. I've got warp, which I can only assume counts as a form of damage. I have deadly wake, which is pretty nice. And then I'm going to assume Candescence, because that is all I have that I can think is an extra source of damage. But I'm going to take regen here. Just, it's nice. Again, for the survivability that I otherwise won't have. Okay, you know what? Yes, they need to die, absolutely, but he's going to keep spawning them. And so this enemy also needs to die. And we're on to the next wave. Okay, this is not great. I could have imagined a situation where this went better. Taking a lot of damage. What have I got? Stop with the hidden power early, please. I can't take it. I guess I could take rapid fire here. And would it kill me? I don't want radiant shields because I don't want the lowered shield durability. And I don't care much for the radius. So... And the slower shield cooldown just doesn't help. I guess I'll take rapid fire. Now, obviously, it was an option to take... Oh god, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. My shield is gone, so that's most of my... That's, like, the opportunity to explode and deal damage gone. And somehow we made it out. Okay, that's astonishing to me. Absorption is fine, but it's not what I want. Streamline is fine, but it's also not what I want. Blast radius doesn't help in the long run. It's a temporary fix for this, and that's not what I want. Question: if I take efficiency, my weapon has no effect, but discharge procs when I fire. Now I know that discharge works with this, so the question is, if I take efficiency, will it work once I take hidden power? I'm going to say probably not, but I need to stop heavily diluting the mod pool, and I definitely want to experiment with it, but I can't risk not getting discharge really soon, because if I don't, this run is sunk. I'm already on station. Fun fact, I learned this enemy's name, and once I get towards our like super juggernaut, once I get towards Seraph, or rather Scion, I was corrected in the comments, thank you very much. Once I get towards Scion, or alternatively Seraph, I believe it's actually just a synonym for the same enemy that goes like through development. If I could finish a sentence, that'd be phenomenal. I can't fight any of those two with Torrent. Technically I can. Like, I don't mean like I physically can't. I just mean the weapon, it won't do it. It does not enough damage. Oh, a hyper boost, cool. Volatile shields, that's pretty big and puts us on the path to discharge, as well as being able to deal a little more damage. I do love Rainbow Torrent. I really do like Rainbow Torrent. None of these are what I want. Please, please. Thank you. Okay, discharge. When I fire my shield, discharges a portion of its enemy, striking outwards with bolts of energy, taking burn damage, which makes Candescence a pretty solid upgrade. We're taking discharge. This is great. Oh, look at it go. Look at it go. Oh, this is brilliant. And also the best part is that once I take damage, because I'm constantly taking shield damage, it also procs, what is it called? Reflexive shields. So I have this constant beam in front of me the entire time as well. This is what I was hoping for. Seizure warning, by the way. Absolute seizure warning. And then I'm going to take probably hidden power with this. So I want to see what happens when I do. I also like the trail of like ringed destruction that I leave behind me. It is nice. I'm surprised I'm taking very little damage. I expected to take a lot more shield-based damage. So, question. When shields down, hull regenerates at 100%. With shields up, shield regenerates at 30%. And with shields up, shields regenerate at a 70% effect. Now, typically shields don't regenerate, so this is an added shield regeneration. This is quite big if I choose to take it, because it gives me the opportunity to not lose my shield periodically. So I'm going to take regenerative shields here. As you'll see, if you look closely at the bottom, my shield regenerating periodically, as well as the like regular shield regeneration bar. And now I've taken a couple of things. The reason that I chose to take warp, and also, oh, that regenerated really fast. That's great. The reason that I chose to take warp as my shield is that way, at least when I would otherwise lose my shield, I still have a bit of offensive power just for the while. For now, I can survive outside of this. Once I take hidden power, once my shield goes down, I need to not die here. I'm in a deadly wake. Okay. I'm almost dead. This is bad and really scary. Adrenal module is really good. I need to loop. And then wait. Just a second. No, please don't kill me. He died to my deadly wake. All planned. And then I need to give myself a minute or two just to regen back my shields. And we're good to go again. Sick. So that was scary. That was extremely terrifying. I'm really low on health. Unfortunately, Adrenal module gets me increased damage when that happens. There goes my shield again. Again, terrifying. Get these guys dead. I do love the beam of death that I just fire off all the time. Can I get this before it goes? I think I did. I just, like, hitting this enemy is going to be the worst. Yeah. The amount of damage that he deals back to me is horrible. We had this problem before when we were doing Torrent. It's just the amount that he reflects backwards. And I know I get to deal damage back to him with my reflexive shields whenever he hits me with his. But that just causes the same problem. I need to back out now. If I could stop my shield exploding, that would actually be great. Whew, okay. Careful. On the plus side, the warp break did break his shields, and that's really big. Because that means we can just go absolutely ham. Oh, look at that go. That is so just so fantastic. So what do we take here? Magnetism, flash shielding is a waste of my time, I think. I'm honestly not going to worry too much about it. Or adaptive armor, which could be really, really, really good. So I'm probably going to take that, but I'm actually going to reroll for now. Ooh, hidden power. Let's go. Oh, my shield is down. Okay. I was terrified. I couldn't shoot. Look at it go. Oh, look at it go. Oh, no. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. I've actually gotten 2 achievements from this already. I got Shock and Awe, which is the one that I was aiming for, where you make discharge your primary weapon, in fact, your only weapon. And I'm gone. Oh, no. That was terrible. Oh, no. Well, we got Sanctuary. Your shield recovers proportionally to your missing shield or ability. Your shield only begins its cooldown when it breaks. This from mods appear when the requirements are met. That's fine. So, what is the requirement for this, actually? It doesn't say. Unfortunately, I died. I absolutely bricked it at the end. But that was very satisfying. We didn't even get a high score. It sucks. Let's try that again with maybe a few less difficulty things just to make the build a bit easier on myself. And then I'll go again. So I got Shock and Awe, which is what I was hoping for. And another achievement that I kind of glossed over because I thought it might have been Shock and Awe, and then it wasn't. Where you make discharge your primary weapon and just deal lots of damage with it. It's a real shame, honestly, a real shame that I didn't get to take that right to the end. Or even, like, anywhere past as soon as I got it, because I never got to explore it properly. I'm going to take Railgun this time around, because evidently... No, I'm not. I'm taking Torrent. Let's do it again. Let's be fair to what the build is and try it from the start. There's absolutely no reality in which I don't want to re-experience that and at least get to try it out for more than 30 seconds. I'm so disappointed. And now it's like chasing a high where you know what's at the end of the rainbow, but it's going to take me ages to get there again, where I've built up the whole run. I would not blame you if you wanted to skip way out to like the next part of this run where I have it, because everything in the lead up is going to be just me lamenting the fact that I didn't actually get a chance to have it. But on the plus side, we've experienced a little bit of the build and talked about a few of the upgrades, which gives me an opportunity to focus a little less on the game and a little bit more on everything else, including the fact that my deaf mute customer came back today and she put an item on reserve and wanted to buy it, and then actually wanted to change around a little bit what she wanted, so has decided to come back tomorrow instead. And in case, I mean, obviously the episodes go up at different days and stuff, but there is the implication, I'm sucked into this is terrible. The implication that I'm recording on the same day or potentially different days. I've chosen to record the last couple episodes and this new batch on different days just because I was getting pretty tired towards the end of it. A lot of talking, just a really, really busy mind towards the end of the recording session, and I said I'd stop for a little bit and come back again the next day. So it is the next day. Other than that, though, which was nice, it's been unbelievably boring. I have no words for how sick I am of just standing around doing nothing. I like talking to people. I like talking full stop, in case you hadn't noticed. And just doing things, and God, there's nothing to do. I don't know if you've worked a great deal of retail before in your life. There's nothing to be ashamed about it. I work retail. It's cool. It's fine. But God, sometimes I wish it was more acceptable, or rather acceptable at all, to be able to just not be there. And if a customer came in, you could just suddenly appear from like under the counter or behind a wall hidden trap panel or door where they walk in and suddenly you show up and then they leave and you leave and you get to just do whatever you want. That would just be infinitely better. 1,000 times better. What do I take here? Barrier to get Omni Shield. I don't actually want Barrier. I'm going to take Shield cooldown so I can get Volatile and then Discharge. Those are really, really important, as we know. And need to be rushed. I don't need to be put in a situation where I'm taking massive amounts of damage rapidly. Or in the terrible, extremely scary position that we were in earlier with the like rocket drone swarmer guy. I honestly don't know. I've tried trawling through the game's files, and unfortunately, I have had absolutely no success with finding out Volatile Shields is great. Deadly Wake was also there too. I have had absolutely no success with finding more information about what the enemies are named. I don't want to get blasted here. Oh, okay. So the only piece of information that I've been able to glean is from the developer's website whenever there's a post detailing like a buff or a nerf to something in particular, or fan art, because there's fan art of Station and there's fan art of Juggernaut. And that's about it. And it's kind of, it's fine. It is. But I would like to have more information about the various enemies in the game, all of their names, so I could call them by their names. It would just be kind of nice. Alright, I'm really... Where am I on? Wave 24. I'm really feeling how slow the game is without all of the different modifiers, both upgrade-wise and wave-wise. Frankly, I think in future I'm going to stick to playing with the various upgrades on. Take Barrier here? No. Still don't want Barrier. Remember that. I did say it a minute ago. Discharge. Brilliant. It is really fun to watch, especially with reflexive shields. I enjoy it so much. Great, so our run has started. Now, officially. Only, you know, like 27, nearly 30 waves into the run. It's officially started. I'm looking at the same stuff. Again, Candescence, a couple of shield-based upgrades so that my shield doesn't just disappear and then it be gone. Does my... Hang on. Okay, so fun fact. When I'm taking damage from my own weapon and not from enemies, but like this, my shield's passive regeneration, or rather the shield cooldown, just happens. Like on its own. Anyway, so I can do this non-stop if I don't take lots of damage. Yeah, there's no guarantee that I am going to take lots of damage, but I had no idea. That's phenomenal. And a welcome addition. So, relatively big news on the part of the developer, Chimeric. He's looking at moving the, or rather they are looking at moving the game from Game Maker 1 to Game Maker 2, just because apparently it's an easier engine to work in. Candescence or... Hull strength, efficiency. No, let's take Candescence. They're looking at moving the game from Game Maker 1 to Game Maker 2. And unfortunately, fortunately, however you choose to look at it, it means that at some point over the course of the game's development, there's going to be a couple of changes. I can't imagine the aesthetic will change greatly. Primarily, it'll probably just be some quality of life stuff. Purge is a bit of a waste for me. I could take Hidden Power now. That would take the weapon stuff out, which would be great. Yeah, let's go. Ooh, this is so cool. So I take a bit of damage when I fire. And I also shoot these giant lightnings, which I enjoy. Can I just hold on the button? I can't hold on the button. Okay, I was worried I was going to have to tap shoot the entire time. Let's take... Adaptive Armor... So now I can focus primarily on defense. Wait a minute, I don't have Deadly Wake. Deadly Wake better not be considered an offensive... It's not a weapon mod, so it wouldn't be considered something. So it shouldn't be out of the pool. I certainly hope it's not out of the pool. I'm going to need it. Ooh, I still don't see it, though. Channeling. Regeneration. Regeneration does get regenerative shields. An adrenal module. But I kind of want channeling here. So they're looking at moving the game to Game Maker 2, and that won't change a great deal of things, with the exception that it's in a new engine, and so certain things might get slowed down, and I kind of expect there to be some more bugs and stuff to pop up. It is worth noting that I haven't really encountered any bugs. Oh, station, okay. Oh, I deal damage. Boy. I haven't really encountered any bugs with the game so far, which has been wonderful. But the process of moving to a new engine is always going to be a little bit rocky at first. So there's a few things. When that happens, I know that currently there is a build on... A Deadly Wake is here, brilliant. I know that there's currently a build on the beta branch that is not fit for streaming, but the developer wants some feedback on streaming with it for that purpose, just to make sure that everything works fine. And I love the willingness to be like interactive with the community from the very early stages. Flash shielding. So I'm contemplating taking Omni Shield here. Omni Shield is massive amounts of flat shield durability. Base shield durability on most weapons in most shields ranges between 70 and 110 for the bigger ones, and 55 is obviously phenomenal. So shield damage resistance, shield effect power, which is also quite big, and if your shield is started to cool down, further damage only incurs a partial cooldown reset based on initial damage taken. Also massive. Issue, minus 90% total hull strength. So let's do it. So as you can see, my shield is now massive, and if it breaks, I'm dead immediately. So let's hope my shield never breaks. It also recharges hella fast. So let's try and get a few more recharge things going. Ooh, that hurt. So okay, that was half my shields. That's terrifying. Let's not have that happen again. Ever, please. Does my damage stack armor stacks? It doesn't. That's a real shame, because I would be straight up invincible. Core shielding, minus self damage resistance, armor stack duration, hull strength, and shield durability. These are good. Really, really good. Emergency systems could literally save my life, but chances are actually won't. So I'm probably not going to take it for now anyway. And I'm going to take core shielding. Every tiny increase to my shields is massive. Every piece of damage resistance that I can get is massive. Because, like I said, once that shield goes down, that's it. That's the run. It's the entire run. Ooh, it's so satisfying, though. I deal so much damage. Okay, maybe not to you. Maybe it isn't, like, charge shot railgun damage, but it's a nice, different type of damage. So there's currently a build on the beta branch for the game in Steam with... I think it's running in Game Maker 2. With the director's intention to test it out. Do I fire all the time? Let's get this. Aegis. I think Gemini Protocol might kill me. I'm trying to consider it will. Take Aegis. Here. Just get damage resistance when I'm not thrusting. And I think that works for when I'm not firing. It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell, especially once I get into the more smaller amounts of things now. It's going to be hard to notice phenomenal differences. Outside of, like, heavy percentages. Well, let's not get sucked into the black hole and lose all of my shields and then die immediately afterwards. Oh, I love that my bullets aren't affected by it. And it's apparently quite unstable, so it's not fit for actual streaming, just for developer feedback. And I'm probably going to play around with it a little bit, see if there's any differences, so I can report back, give some information. And if all going well, hopefully, it has, I would imagine that potentially the switch over to a different engine may have slowed updates to the game somewhat, but we're still well within the timeline for the roadmap. And that's good. I would hate to see an Anthem roadmap situation on this where, I mean, just a complete shit show. Gets heavily, heavily delayed. Because I want to see updates to the game. I'm enjoying... there's a lot of stuff I haven't explored yet. A lot of stuff, but honestly, some of the stuff on the roadmap just look really cool. Okay, play safe. Don't die. I'm amazed. This is the first time I've made an Omni Shield build work. I haven't played around with it too much, but I wasn't expecting this. Ooh, 75% max hull strength and max shield durability. That would kill me. So, Gemini Protocol, I was talking about this earlier. The idea that your incoming damage is divided evenly between your hull and your shields, if enough of each is available, is probably a terrible idea, because it'll probably only start mattering once my shield gets desperately low. But my health is already so low that it would probably just kill me to do it. So I'm going to take regen, and then I'm going to take regenerative shields. And the actual base regen won't matter. So this is the enemy that killed me last time. The regen itself won't matter at all, because why would it? And those are massive burn damage numbers. Oh my god. The base regen won't matter. Oh, it's from Deadly Wake. For my hull, but once I get into more regen for my shield, it's going to be pretty massive. Because like, Omni Shields is obviously working in tandem with everything else, and making sure that... Don't hit me. Making sure that my weapon, or rather my shields, do actually regen and I don't just lose the entire regen when I take damage. It's pretty big, as you can imagine. But at the same time, just a little bit more shield regen for when I am taking that damage is going to be nice, as you can imagine, especially when I'm firing and all that stuff. It's defensive upgrades. The build can only get defensive from here. I can't add much to any offense. I also love that I can hit this enemy through this stuff. Ooh, let's not stand in the path of a giant laser beam sword. Oh, I kind of miss the fact that I'm not running turret now, so that because I could do that too. You just stand in the middle of him and do that as well. It'd be immensely fun. But I haven't gotten even close to sick of the game. Like, not going to pretend that I am. But I am excited for new content, as you can imagine, and for the game to get close to finishing early access and all that jazz. It'll be pretty cool. And so I would imagine that maybe it's slowed a little bit. I never worked in Game Maker. I've never done much in the way of anything, really, I suppose, in terms of game development, outside of, like, when I was in secondary school and I did a tiny bit of... is that middle school to any American viewers? I'm from Ireland, as I may have said previously, so... I'm rerolling here for regenerative shields. That's the one. So... the school naming stuff is a little bit different. I'm not sure if it's the same as in England. I think it's not, though, because I think those are forms. So, in transition year, or fourth year in my secondary school, I played around a bit with some Scratch-based stuff, and that's basically it. And obviously that doesn't count. I know it doesn't in the slightest. So, I'm not sure, but I would assume that any engine change, any drastic game change, would slow things just a little bit. You know, I would expect it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like, the transition between Game Maker 2 and Game Maker 1 is actually quite straightforward and really, really smooth. Maybe all the files are super compatible and it's all just grand, but I'm not sure, you know? Ooh, it's Juggernaut. I'm surprised I haven't fought him already. Let's get an upgrade. Ooh, shield effect radius to go for focus shields and then weaponized shields for the extra shield damage. I'm actually going to take barrier now. I'm not as worried now that I know that I have so many shield-based upgrades and durability-based upgrades, or rather shield regen-based upgrades, so I don't need to worry as much about... Oh, I love the Aegis effect. It's so cool. I don't have to worry as much about the actual, like, cooldown of my shield as much as I otherwise would, because it's got that base regen happening anyway. Ooh, get tanked. There's still a few enemies I'm pretty afraid of. Oh, I bobbed and weaved so many of those, but I couldn't bob and weave them all. Flash shielding is probably a bad idea. I don't want to lose 40% shield durability. Like, ever. I already have discharge, so it's a bit of a waste of my time. Let's go corrosion so I can get purification. And then just have some extra... I don't think that healing affects... I think it's hull healing, so maybe it won't matter in the slightest. You can't just send another Juggernaut at me. Especially after I just killed the last one. Oh, he does no damage to me! This is the first time I've ever seen this. I love it so much. I can't wait to get weaponized shields. Ooh, okay. Maybe just a bit of discretion is advised here. Okay, back. I have lost my train of thought completely. I've gotten too focused on the fact that I wasn't taking a lot of damage from this enemy. And the fact that this build is working, which is phenomenal. to continue with what I was saying, but I'm sure it didn't matter in the slightest. It rarely does. Ooh, and it is fun that when I actually get hit as well, I get to fire off more reflexive shield shots. It's not just the one that I want to fire. Also, fun fact, I guess because when I fire my weapon, I take damage. Or rather, I take shield damage when I fire my weapon. And I was assuming... No, it's been happening over the run for a while. But I haven't really spoken about it yet. I was assuming that the damage that I took from my weapon was just applied as like a flat damage to my shield that didn't have a point of origin. Turns out, I guess, the point of origin for the weapon damage is the front of my ship, which means instead of having an actual weapon like I would when I have... Oh, it's not reflexive shields. I get to fire out that little space sword directly in front of me and where I'm facing, which has actually been really great for me. Ooh, okay, question. When your shield affects you, so we can actually take Sanctuary, which is great because we got this last run. Recover shield durability proportional to your missing shield durability. 8% shield durability, 8% shield effect power, 8 base shield durability, 40% crash knockback resistance. Shield only begins cooldown when it breaks. Will this kill me? It's a solid question. I feel like Sanctuary is better on a drone shielded constructs build. And I do want to take it to experience what it is. But for now, I'm going to take Radius. Because I want weaponized shields. So that I can see what it does for this build. And maybe deal a little bit extra damage. Because there isn't a great deal of other things I can add to this that can improve my damage. And it's starting to become somewhat lackluster. I'm expecting what would happen. Ooh, when my shield regens like that, I can't fire for a while. That's scary. I'm expecting what's going to happen if I take Sanctuary is, for the most part, my shield is going to subsist around the halfway, 3/4 of the way gone mark. A quarter of it left, and kind of just stay there regularly regenning. And it probably won't get too much higher because the actual cooldown part of the shield is going to be gone. Which is not too bad. It's okay. I'm just worried because while the cooldown on my shield isn't like extremely long, it's kind of long. And especially with how little hull strength I actually have. Because I've taken... Ooh, okay. Just careful. Because of the mods that I've taken, because I've taken Omni Shield, it's scary. It's a really scary prospect. You need to die, like right now. Okay. Purification. Flat shield durability recovered percentage per second for each burning enemy. That's amazing. Okay, that's what I needed so much. Ooh, look at that shield recovery. I love it. So I fully expect that now, in the midst of battle, I don't have to worry too much about it. But you see, what I was worried about with that is there are big enemies like this that deal big hits, and big hits against me will devastate my shield before I have a chance to recover any of it. Also, he's going down so fast. Whew. Check that deadly wake damage. And I don't want to see my shield disappear. It will kill me immediately. Oh, it's not getting hit by these. Should be him. Brilliant. Okay, we're putting in work. Now, to be fair to myself, none of these enemies are as strong as they are in some of my previous runs, because I've got a lot of the modifiers turned off. The nastier bosses and deadlier elites aren't in this, and it means I'm taking a lot less damage where I would be taking more, and also I'm dealing a lot more damage where I would be dealing less. And for this build especially, I'm okay with that. I'm a lot more focused on having fun with this one and sending giant waves of lightning arcing from my ship than focusing extremely heavily on just like that score modifier on its own. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. Also, apparently the leaderboards reset monthly now. So this doesn't proc his reflexive shields. That's amazing. Let's take Adrenal Module. Just because, you know, if we're going to be sitting at moderate amounts of shield all the time, then why not? Ooh, that is mounting burn damage. I love it. Maybe outside of the difficulties, this enemy doesn't have reflexive shields at all. That could be what this is. That could easily be what this is. Because I feel like I've encountered this enemy a couple of times and they've not had reflexive shields. And I kind of always assumed that was a... Now, honestly, maybe the lightning just doesn't proc it. Because it's burn damage, like Deadly Wake doesn't proc it and Celestial Lance doesn't. Although it's crash damage, so it's a bit different. But I'm worried that my reflexive shields might proc his, because his reflexive shields certainly proc mine. So I don't know. It could be a situation where it's difficulty based. Jesus. And if that's the case, then, well, I'm just being a bit of an idiot. But if that's not the case, it's fine. And shield radius. That's not the one I want. I want focus shields. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I have a hyper boost. You're not going to sit here and tell me that a hyper boost doesn't change the color of my lightning. That is such absolute shit. I might actually send a strongly worded letter to the developer, praising the game almost entirely, and also complaining heartily about the fact that hyper boosts don't change the color of lightning. That's not okay. I was expecting rainbow colored lightning as the part of this build, and I didn't get it. I was promised rainbow lightning, okay? Where's my rainbow lightning? This is going well. Oh no! Oh no. Oh no. This could be extremely bad. I need to stay out of their wakes, just because I'll die. Weaponized shields. Okay, cool. So weaponized shield effect to any shield. Targets within the weaponized effect take 20% total damage. Affected by shield effect power. So, yeah. It's pretty big. Oh, it's pretty big. That is a hidden power in and of itself. And that's massive. I've been tap shooting this entire time. And I have no idea why. I'm sorry if you could hear that on the mic. Because that's not fair. Oh, this would be such a good place to have Celestial Lance. Or just even Halo. Or anything other than this. Be careful. Regen. And I'm good to go. Sick. It's also cool to not have to aim with this build. I mean, I do. I am focusing the reflexive shield shots on my enemies all the time. Ooh, my shield's about to break. Is this where I take Sanctuary? Let's go. Now, it said my shield cooldown only begins when it breaks, so I guess I'll have to see how that works. But on the plus side, this does mean that if my shield gets kind of low, it should regen like really fast. Let's take a few hits and see what happens. Yeah, that is 100% it. Okay, fine. So this could kill me. That one decision could end my run. I could take a bunch of rapid fire hits, like here, right here, or a couple of just like 2 or 3 really, really high damage blasts, and that would end me. My shield would go down to extremely low, and I don't know how quickly the regen is going to affect me for it. Oh, not fast enough. Okay, it's scary. Flash shielding is now a waste of my time. It will do literally nothing for me. So I'm going to take a last stand while it's here. I'll get out of the mod pool and see if that opens up any new doors for me. Although I can't imagine that it will, just because I'm starting to exhaust a bunch of mods. I'm on Seraph. Right, I don't know if I can deal with this guy. Because Seraph has just a great habit of absolutely filling the screen with bullets and dealing regular damage. So I'm going to take it easy just for a sec. Get a bit of a regen going, you know, just the huge. destroy this before it creates a vortex. This is going surprisingly well. I might actually beat him here. Like, I've found, and maybe it's purely anecdotal, once you can get through the first 2 odd rotations of what Seraph does without dying, you're more or less okay. Because everything after that is the same. Ooh, what do we take? Celestial Lance? It is extra damage, but a bit of a waste, I think. Emergency Systems is again a bit of a waste. I'm going to take maybe Hull Strength. I'm going to have to take it anyway at some point, because all the other mods are a waste of my time. Not that Hull Strength isn't a complete waste of my time. It is. It does nothing for me. Like, my hull didn't even move, and it isn't going to move, not taking Hull Strength. But, like, if I'm going to work towards Void, then I'm going to have to take it eventually anyway, so let's not stress myself about it. Just about over halfway dead. This is going better than I expected. I was worried that he was going to fill the screen a lot more than he did, a lot faster than he did, and make it really, really, really difficult for me to get maintain any form of shield composure. This is a Celestial Lance. Somehow I didn't die. Also, my shield regens pretty fast when it's low. Faster than I expected. Just loop and then play it safe for a bit. He's almost dead. Oh my god, Seraph is almost dead. Try and keep him in the weaponized shield effect for now. We did it! Oh my god, we did it! Wave 101. Okay, let's not die on wave 101, please. Sick. Is that a level? That's not a level. Okay, this is scary. And still going well. Alright, here, look. I'm getting lots of experience. I'd like to level up, please. Thanks. There we go. I'm surprised. I am. I'm honestly very surprised. What do I take? If I take Streamline, I get to Tempest Break faster. Tempest Break has no downside, because my shield currently only does that when it breaks. I use Hull Strength, which doesn't matter. Crash damage and knockback doesn't matter. Knock resistance. Streamline is completely free. Okay, that's actually great. That makes me quite happy. So, I mean, like, this is maybe the best build to exhaust the mod pool. Maybe? Like, call me crazy, but it just might be. Because you're going to end up in this situation anyway, right? Like, if you take a weapon, a regular weapon, and focus down that weapon tree, at some point you're going to exhaust all of the offensive options. And so you're going to get stuck into the defensive options, like shield stuff. And then you're going to enter the super mod that is hidden power, and that's going to remove all offensive options from the pool, and your weapon isn't going to do anything, so you're going to end up here anyway, but you'll be miles behind. So this might just be the best way to do it. But I could be wrong. I haven't tried it before, because it's extremely difficult to get that far into the game. Like, at all. But this might do it. I might actually do it. Like, from here, it's a matter of reasonably good play, and then just the personal mental longevity to do a run where I'm potentially going to be talking for the next 20 more minutes. So, what have we got? Absorption? Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm a bit less stressed about the mods that I take now, because I know that I'm going to have to take them all. So, or rather, my end goal with this one is to take them all. So I'm really not very worried. Plus, there's nothing that I can add to this build that's going to change it drastically anyway. Everything is very much just whatever, for the most part. It's going to do what it's going to do, and it's going to keep doing what it's going to do for as long as I play well enough to keep the run alive. And I'm okay with that. I really am. But maybe, just maybe, I will avoid getting void in the future. For the sake of just how long this singular run is probably going to end up being. On the plus side, I get to experience a lot of the waves past wave 100, because I really get to do that. And see the full extent of what this build does. And unfortunately, it doesn't fill the screen as much as I was hoping it might with lightning. But I did choose to go down the hidden power route of it instead of focusing on like a weapon and torrent. Take force armor here. I could have taken siege weaponry if I wanted to. Gone a torrent, discharge, siege weaponry build where I get really up in enemies' grills and then fire out just rapid fire lightning. And that sounds really fun. I would probably die really fast because siege weaponry deals hull damage when I fire, and discharge I take shield damage when I fire. So it probably wouldn't last very long, but it would be really fun. I wasn't prepared to have this much thrust. Whew, okay, that hyper boost almost killed me. The damage boosts don't matter because I really only deal bird damage, and yeah, the thrust was terrifying. I'm not running the kind of build that can manage high amounts of thrust because I have to be like just skirting around enemy projectiles, and the faster I'm moving, the harder that is, honestly. So, whew, that was terrifying. This whole sanctuary lack of a shield cooldown is not helping. It really, really isn't helping. I would like to get to Tempest Break ASAP and just not have to just get the extra bonuses that I get through Tempest Break. I do have emergency systems, don't I? I hope I do. Oh. Okay, we're good. We may not be good anymore. Okay, that's one. Is that both of them dead? It is both of them dead. That's brilliant. And this should get you. Okay. It's a level up as well, which is nice. What do we take? We didn't have emergency systems. I have no right to be alive. Okay. There's two more of these guys. This is really bad. I can't put into words how scary this situation is right now. Oh, did I get him? I think I got him in the Deadly Wake. No, I just got his drones. Fabulous. That should get him. Please. Okay. Like, there's so much on the screen when those enemies show up that everything becomes so terrifying. Just play it safe for a bit. Don't worry too much. It's gonna be fine. Oh god, the regen once my shield gets up past halfway is just so much slower. Getting close so I can get some Deadly Wake damage. And then get out so I don't get hit with a black hole. Yeah, let's just not get caught in that. Oh, he's almost dead. The burn damage might kill him. It didn't. I was worried about losing the experience, which I didn't want to lose at all, because clearly past like level 30, everything counts. That should do. Without the music, this is like a mildly unpleasant sound to hear repeatedly. It's fine. I've heard much worse. Can we talk about the Pokemon Go user interface and the sounds that it makes? I've heard less shrill, jarring noises coming from like poorly made children's toys. There are defensive cries from real life animals that make less shrill, aggressive sounds than the Pokemon Go user interface. And that's a sad thing. That is a really sad thing. astonishingly enough, I'm not dead, and we've broken his shield. This makes no sense. Can we kill him? Oh, god damn it. You know, our AoE is pretty good. I was expecting it to be really bad. But I guess the random bolts of lightning that hit everything all the time are pretty good. Who'd have thunk it, right? So if we take flash shielding now, we get the option to take... what is it called again? Tempest Break. And that could be pretty big. I noticeable drop in shield durability here. Where am I? Loop once. Down. Okay. Right. That was substantial. Okay. Yeah, that was maybe an extreme mistake. I'm really hoping that Flash, or rather Tempest Break, makes up for it, because I was very close to dead. I knew I was in a bad position when I hit the upgrade button, and just fuck, go back. Like, I knew I was in a terrible position where I was gonna get hit. My shield was kind of low anyway, but god, I did not expect it to be that bad. This is also a terrible position. Okay, from here I should be more okay. Sleep once. Is that a second Seraph? You're not about to do this to me. You're not about to fire the second wave, like another wave 100 boss at wave 148, 140. That's not okay. Like, wave 150, yeah, sure, you know what, whatever, do it, go for it. But this is not okay. 138, not even wave 140. Alright, game, let's play that game, okay? Let's actually go. I ain't even close to afraid. Let's not get lasered by this guy. Hit his last drone. I intentionally took damage there to trigger, to get Celestial Wake damage. See, all of you out there watching, playing Nova Drifts, you know, if you're playing alongside me, thanks, by the way. That's really cool. And if you're not, that's also fine. I'm dead. Wait, I'm not. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is really bad. Okay, this is Last Stand, everybody. Welcome to Last Stand. When you die, you regen with 75% less hull and shield. No, I'm dead. Right. You know what? That's okay. I got a lot of upgrades that run that I didn't expect to get, or rather a lot of achievements that run that I didn't expect to get. As I died, I made a massive explosion, and I got Planet Buster, which is dealing a substantial amount of damage in one attack, and then right afterwards I got Bullet Sponge. I find it very hard to read Sponge and read it and accept it properly. We also got a Vital Bond. Constructs benefit from 50% of your regeneration. This is big for Bastion. Ooh, a new high score. Sick. GJ. Good job, me. Third. It sucks. Whatever. It's not like I wanted a good high score anyway. So, yeah, we got a couple of achievements there, which is great. Just cut so much time off the achievement hunting. And also an incredibly long episode. What was that last run there? That was 138 waves long. That's the longest I think I've ever gone, actually. Wow. An incredibly long episode with a bunch of achievements that have taken a lot of time out of achievement hunting, and also got a chance to experience a hidden power based build, which I really, really, really wanted to do from when I opened the game initially. I've had a lot of fun with this one, and I hope that you did too, or watching along. If you prefer I'm going to include that at the start of the next episode, because I've learned my lesson with putting things at the end of episodes. It's a bad idea. If you're watching this far, thanks so much for watching the entire episode. You are the real MVP. And I will see you in the next Nova Drift. Goodbye.